Hey, welcome back. It's been a while, but finally we're doing the next step of the studio. Yeah, I've been away for a while. It's because I broke my hand, but finally I can edit again. So let's go. So today on this step, we're going to be doing epoxy in the studio. And I'm going to show you the process that I did, and you can learn from my mistakes in case you're planning on epoxying your floor or garage or studio or inside your house, and hopefully save you some time and money and pain. So the first thing I did is I rented a grinder, and this is to make the concrete really smooth and consistent because they had carpet glued to the floor. So you had to get all that up, and then just inconsistencies in the concrete, make it nice, flat, and smooth. Big mistake I learned really fast. I didn't actually realize that the concrete grinder was going to involve water. If I did know that, I would have been doing this before I installed the insulation and drywall, so I didn't have to worry about the splatter. And so I put up this paper tape all around the edges, thinking, oh, that will protect it. And it didn't take me long to find out, oh, that doesn't protect it at all. So I had to put up plastic eventually. And I didn't do any permanent damage to the drywall, but parts of it did get a little bit messy. And this was very loud. Also, the shop vac died. I've had that shop vac for like 10 years, and it died sucking up the liquid. It is a wet, dry shop vac. It's just liquid concrete or something destroys it. And then you see me going around the edges. I have to chisel away all the remaining nails from the carpet, tack strips, I think it's called. And then I give a good mop, disinfectant, some sort of chemical I use. I don't remember what it's called, but it's supposed to absorb any type of grease or something. Finally, we get to the stuff. I bought it on eBay, and I'll have to say, the stuff I bought, I thought it was really impressive. I did make a mistake, though. They give you basically part A to part B. You mix it together, ta-da, you have epoxy. Well, they also give you 2 buckets, and I have 2 kits of part A and part B, and each kit is for 600 square feet. So my studio is roughly 900 square feet, so I needed a little bit more than just 1 bucket. And I try to be cheap, and I reuse the same bucket instead of getting the new bucket every time, and we'll come back to that later. So for now, I poured all the epoxy in one spot, and this is the squeegees that came with the kit. If I were to do it over again, Lowe's, Home Depot, they don't sell the giant squeegees that you use or that the professionals use. And so if I was going to do it over again, I'd go online and I'd buy like the big squeegee, and it's like a U shape, so it like catches it. And then just dump all the epoxy in one spot and then just squeegee it all around. Kind of the same concept you see going on here. Just this is like trying to row across the ocean, I guess, in a rowboat instead of a jet ski. I don't know. But yeah, so this took a long time to push it across the floor with this little tiny squeegee. And another thing is, so like I was saying, it's 600 square feet per batch. Well, so essentially I made enough for 1,200 square feet, even though the studio is only 900 square feet. And I was thinking, oh, just spread it out, and then, yeah, it's going to self-level. Well, it doesn't really self-level. It levels a little bit, but not to that extent. So you see one of the doors has a giant crack under it. You can see the outside. What I should have done is squeegeed all the excess to that crack and had like a cardboard box on the other side to catch it so it doesn't go into the ground. And so that way there's not an excess amount of epoxy on the floor. so the floor could be smooth. Because one of the problems is some of those bumps were a little unlevel. And then so when you're sitting in an office desk, like your chair will randomly roll if you're sitting on one of those little bumps. So that was annoying. So here we go. Second batch, you see mixing part A and part B. And also I should have had a timer, and your hands get messy, you get messy. You don't want to go in the house and track it everywhere. So it's good. Just get a cheap throwaway timer or something and use that to make sure you're actually mixing for the proper amount of time. And so then here I go again, squeegeeing again. And also, the mix likes to stick to the side of the bucket. Another reason you shouldn't reuse buckets. And again, this is my first time, so I'm just learning. I'm sharing what I've learned with you, so hopefully you don't have to learn it the hard way. I'm not saying I know everything about epoxy and floors, obviously, because when I was all done with this, I put the black coat on. Then I put, like, okay, after the black coat, with the exception of the bumps, it looked amazing. And I was quite satisfied with it, but it also came with a clear coat. And I was like, well, I bought the clear coat, I might as well use it. So I poured the clear coat on top of all the black epoxy once it finally dried. And the clear coat, I didn't mix it good enough. And so you'll see with the clear coat, it makes all these little white bubbles everywhere. And also there's a few spots of the epoxy that didn't actually harden. And it's because it didn't mix well, and the internet said that is essentially not going to ever harden. And so at that point, I can't make videos or anything because I have to get the studio up and running so I can make videos. And so I just need to get this project done. So I didn't want to redo it a second time myself. So at this point in time, I bit the bullet and I hired a pro. Here's some of the spots you can kind of see from my work. It's a little bit hazy, and it wasn't like that. This is what it was like before the clear coat. Here's what it's like after the clear coat. If I wouldn't have done the clear coat, it probably would have been okay enough. I could have lived with it. But after the clear coat, I decided to hire a professional, and he was like roughly $3,000 or $4,000, I think. And so much money. But the thing is, I was moving in here. I had limited internet access, so I was only looking at internet through the phone. And I looked at his website, and he had photos of this amazing epoxy jobs, like looks like marble flooring. And I couldn't do very much research beyond what phone internet can provide you. And so I took his word at this guy knows what he's doing. I paid him for it, and turns out at the end of the day, I think my bad job was actually better than his job. And he had to grind down the old stuff, but he didn't grind it down efficiently enough, and some of the excess bumps that I made the first time were still there. He claimed it was because the concrete was garbage and it's unlevel and blah, blah, blah. It's not true, because when I used the concrete grinder, before I did anything, the floor was immaculate. I even put a little bit of concrete in all the holes from the nails from the carpet and stuff. It was a pretty flat surface. I think the bumps were just there because I added too much to my mix and he simply didn't grind it down good enough. But anyways, once he was done, it's like I just paid him. I said, it's fine, whatever, we're done. I'm not hiring you for anything else. And then later on, once I finally got my internet, I got the studio kind of organized. I did a deep dive on his website, and a lot of the images on his webpage, I looked in the history of those images, and it turns out that those images were on other websites for other epoxy companies, and they were on their websites before they were on his website. So I'm willing to speculate based off the quality of his work or the lack thereof. The information I found on the images, basically those are not his work that he did on his website. So I do feel like I was a little bit scammed, but I can't full out 100% say it, even though I'm kind of unofficially, allegedly implying it, that he did a shoddy job. But eventually I want to redo my garage once I finish rehabbing that, because the whole house was kind of disgusting and I had to fix everything. Once I go round two, I think I can actually do a better epoxy job. I've learned my lesson. And if I can successfully do it, then I'll have evidence to show that I know what I'm talking about. But until then, I don't have that. So anyways, you can see he had some like scuff marks, and also the bumps were still there. And then it was like this foggy glaze. Like it wasn't like glossy. Like before when I did it, you could see like a perfect outline of all the lights above, which are kind of cool. And then he like made this fog look so you can't really see him that well. So anyways, that was my epoxy project. I'm glad it's over with. If I knew it was going to be that much of a hassle and that much money, I would say it was about $5,000 for all of it, including my mess up products and paying him to do it. I probably could have done it for about $3,000 to $4,000 if I didn't hire him and I ripped it out and did it again myself and got it right the second time. But I could have not got it right, and then it would have been even more money. If I would have known the situation, this isn't my forever house, I probably would have just got cheap black laminate and put that down, or just used paint and just painted the floor. But this also helps with radon. That's something we have up here in Montana, so that's cool. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope this was informative for you if you plan on doing epoxy flooring. And if not, if you're just being nosy and you want to see what Crazy Nate's studio is going to turn out like, well, there you go. Now you got, whoa, I just ate a ton of cheese. That was a burp. yeah, now you got a ton of information on the studio. Next step, I'll try to do the green screen. I know that was my favorite project of it so far, and I think you're going to enjoy that. So if you want to watch the entire process from start to finish, you go ahead and click that I up there, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Remember, most importantly of all, share a smile. They are contagious.